So you're over 50 and you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel. Is it a good idea? Yeah, why not? Look at me. I don't know, this particular channel's not going that great. I actually started this channel as a community-based thing to try and figure out together how we can make YouTube a successful place. My main channel is the Logical Trading channel, which talks about trading and teaches people, or gives education on how to day trade, how to trade futures, Forex, indexes, that sort of thing. And I do it totally free. And that channel is growing the way I expect it to grow. So for a person over 50, doing something like this, it actually works. It's actually a really good thing. I also have another channel which is a little bit controversial. It's about South Africa and Cape Town and whatnot, and it's a little bit sometimes the politics comes into it, gets a little bit out there, and that channel has actually started to get some traction as well. But that said, this channel and that channel only get 1 video per week, and the Logical Trading channel, the trading channel, gets a good 3 videos per week, and I'm actually thinking of upping it to 4, adding another sort of format in there as well, because that channel's growing the way I expect it to grow and the way I want it to grow, and that's the one I'm concentrating on. I'm keeping these other 2 channels going because I'm not one for just stopping, and I like this channel as very much, I don't want to put it this way, but kind of an experimental channel which helps me understand what the YouTube algorithm's doing, what's happening out there, if I want to experiment with audio, if I want to experiment with video, if I want to experiment with that process on a talking head video, because my trading video is basically talking head, and that's what it's all about. But this channel helps me to understand how things are working without destroying that channel. Obviously, that's what it's all about. But starting a YouTube channel over 50, what advantage has it got for you? What will it do for you? Well, let me tell you this. If you know nothing about computers and you know nothing about technology, then you should probably either stay away or have a subject line that's so good that you know that you can employ editors and you can employ people to do this for you. But if you have some knowledge of technology, and believe me, if you're my age, you should, because I remember when the first computers came out and I dived in there and I loved the idea and I got into the whole thing. So I do know quite a lot about computers and that sort of stuff, and PC work and software and all the rest of it, even the apps and cell phones. And I have grown up with this stuff. And if you're my age, you should also have some knowledge of it, or you should have some idea what to do with computers. But what getting into YouTube or any kind of social media does do for you is it helps you stay with the times. It helps you stay with the latest technology. It helps you stay in touch with the latest technology, because I find a lot of guys our age who just don't stay with it, or don't get involved in the phones, who don't get involved in the computers. You tend to end up falling behind. You don't see the scams coming. You don't see the things happening in the market. And when the bank suddenly says there's no more cash money, we're all going digital, you're the first one to start panicking, because you haven't really got into the systems and you haven't learned how to get ahead. So it really does help you by having these sort of YouTube channels and that sort of thing. Stay with the latest, stay with the technology, and stay on top of it. Besides that, you've got a lot to offer. You've got a hell of a lot of life experience out there in the world, which you might be able to impart onto the younger generation. Have you ever, I remember growing up and old people would sit there and try and teach us about what we should and shouldn't be doing. And I think, you bloody idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. I know everything. I'm 18 years old. Does that sound familiar? But yeah, the point is, you're now the old one trying to impart that information onto the youngsters. And it's a good thing to be able to give the youngsters that information. But what I find is young people are far more interested in learning from you on a format like this, like YouTube, rather than listening to their dad or their uncle or their grandfather. So you can give youngsters an immense amount of information just by sitting on YouTube, telling them what is good and what is bad. As long as it's good information, you can give some kind of education. Everybody knows something. You might be a lady who knows how to bake, so you can teach a youngster how to bake. Or you might be a person who knows how to cook, so you can teach a youngster how to cook. You might be a lady who knows how to put makeup on, and you can teach the youngsters how to put makeup on properly. Or you might be a person like myself who does trading, and I teach people how to trade. Or you might be a businessman and you might want to show people how to start a business, how to run a business, how to register a business. There's so many different things out there. You might want to show people how to start a website, how to grow a website, how to run a blog. There's so many educational things on YouTube that you could fall into, and then you can show people how to do that. I see a lot of people jump into the entertaining one, and I think the people over 50 and the older lot like ourselves, I don't think entertainment is very much our thing on YouTube. I don't think that's something we should be targeting, but there are one or two vlogs out there that are quite interesting. In particular, if you're over 50 and you want to do an entertainment channel, you might think of, if you're retired and you're doing a bit of traveling. While you're traveling, take footage of your travels and talk about your travels and where you are and where you're going. It's very interesting to people if you're going from place to place to place, and you can show people the places. And that's a great idea to impart out there onto people, your travels with your caravan or from hotel to hotel or whatever the case. That's a great idea. That's something that an older person could do on the entertainment side, not dancing around and riding a skateboard and stuff like that. Don't do that, guys. You'd probably end up breaking a leg. So stay away from that side of things. But yes, you could still impart a lot of good information onto people with that sort of thing. Or what to do in retirement, how do we, that sort of stuff. We've got loads of life experience. We've got loads of information that we can put out onto a platform like YouTube or even some of the other fine social media platforms out there. But I find YouTube to be the best one because YouTube, I don't know if you know, is the second largest search engine in the world next to Google. So when people search on Google, do you know what comes up? Your YouTube videos come up there. Also, your video gets put out for people to see. It gets placed out there and people run through it, and there's an audience out there that might like your type of video, that might like your type of information, and they'll pick your video and they'll watch your video based on what you've put out there. That's great. Your information will get out there. It might not be viral. It might not be the biggest thing in the world. It might be. Who knows? If you're just doing it for the money, that might be a bit tricky. But because it takes a hell of a long time to become a successful YouTuber, that much I can tell you. But if you're doing it for the fun and you're doing it for the art and you're getting in there and maybe one day it does grow, that's fantastic as well. That's me for this week. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see what comes up next week for the old man and the over 50 YouTuber. Let's see if we can grow to a bigger channel here. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to watch the last video. Cheers and bye.